I was a female veteran at Buckingham Palace supporting very seriously injured veterans, and I was wearing my medals, which I'm particularly proud of, and they made me feel about this big.
Julie-Anne Fulford served in the army for 16 years in the Queen Alexandra's Royal Army Nursing Corps and left as a staff sergeant. She did 2 tours of Afghanistan, served in Sierra Leone during the deadly Ebola outbreak, and Princess Anne awarded her an Associate Royal Red Cross for her work as a critical care nurse during the COVID-19 pandemic. This is what she faced the first time she wore her medals in public since leaving the forces.
2 serving members of the forces turned around, interrupted our conversation for one, and one of them pointed at me and said, "Is that a George Cross?" And I said, no, it's not a George Cross, it's an Associate Royal Red Cross. And his mate laughed and said, "See, told you, there's no way she's seen action in her life." And I said, excuse me, I said, "I haven't, that's an Afghanistan medal, that's a medal from Sierra Leone," and they just completely dismissed me and laughed and walked away. Thankfully, the veteran's mother, who was with me, immediately sort of said to them, "How dare you?" She really had my back, which was really nice. And I do think, had someone senior overheard that conversation, it absolutely would have been stamped out. So I know that would have happened. I think I was just very unfortunate that I was next to 2 gentlemen, 2 men, who clearly have no idea about the values and standards of the British Army.
You said they were quite young.
Yeah, they were quite young. I think younger than me, which again makes me even sadder, because they're the new generation. They're the new soldiers coming through.
When Julie-Anne took to Twitter to share what had happened, she was overwhelmed by the response.
This is a much more common problem than I ever realised. And actually, other female veterans contacted me and said to me, "I have been laughed at. I know somebody who's been spat on. I've turned it to an event, a veteran event, and with my husband, and I've been ignored, and my husband's been welcomed and had to say, actually, no, my wife's the veteran." So this is huge. It's much bigger than I ever envisaged.
The garden party at Buckingham Palace was organised for veterans who got the chance to meet the Duchess of Edinburgh. In a statement, the Ministry of Defence told Forces News, "We are extremely proud of Mrs Julie-Anne Fulford ARRC, who wears medals hard-earned in the correct order of precedence for her distinguished, exemplary and loyal service as a member of the armed forces. We are aware of an alleged incident where Mrs Julie-Anne Fulford ARRC was confronted about her medals, which we are investigating further." Meanwhile, Julie-Anne hopes that something positive can come from her bad experience and had this message for the head of the army.
Listen to how female veterans are being made to feel. You know, we're not inadequate, and I don't believe or anyone high up in the army sees that. I never had that when I was serving. I was so fortunate. I had a really lovely career. I loved my time in the army, and I was always pushed to, do well and progress. So I never felt that serving. But if other females are feeling that, then that's got to be heard.